Valor, Morgulis, Moral Morgulis.
They say that all good things must come to an end, but what they don't say is that the ending has to be good as well. Arguably the most popular TV series of all time. No shade on you, Breaking Bad fans. Game of Thrones was never going to live up to the expectations of the fanboys. The almost 2-year hiatus of the show only served to up the ante and conjured up billions and billions of fan theories. Who will die in the Great War? Will Cersei Lannister finally pay for her sins? And most importantly, who will sit on the Iron Throne? Despite the lackluster season 7, there was so much to look forward to. But the final season did fall short of expectations, and by some distance. It was like eating grass for a meal. Not the vegetarian variety, but actual grass. It will fill you up, but make you want to kill yourself. David Benioff and D.B. Weiss may have had their eyes on a galaxy far, far away, as they delivered one of the most unsatisfying conclusions in recent memory. But that doesn't change the fact that Game of Thrones will forever hold a special place in the world of entertainment. The series delivered some of the most shocking moments which took the golden age of television to new heights. Now that we live in a world where Game of Thrones is no more, or forever ruined as the haters would say, let's take a look at 5 defining moments of the show. Number 1. Ned Stark's beheading. Game of Thrones had a solid start in its first season, where we were introduced to a wide array of interesting characters, intriguing storyline, and the looming threat of a war for the ages. As we traverse the politics of Westeros along with Ned Stark, we hope that truth and justice will prevail despite the corrupt forces of evil moving against our protagonist. Much to our shock and horror, all that hope is chopped off along with the head of Ned Stark in episode 9 of season 1. Yes, we have puns. In retrospect, I think we should have seen it coming. It was a pivotal moment which set the War of the Five Kings in motion and sent the show's popularity through the roof. Most of all, it set the precedent of its unpredictability. No one was safe in George R.R. Martin's world. Number 2. For the Watch. Although Jon might actually be a Targaryen by blood, he is a Stark in spirit. As emo and sappy as his character is, Jon is an honorable man, like his adoptive father who wants to do the right thing. So, in the 10th episode of season 5, Jon decides to give safe passage to the wildlings, which does not sit well with the members of the Night's Watch. In true Game of Thrones spirit, they turn on Jon Snow, label him a traitor, and stab him to death. It's a shocking scene which becomes even more devastating when Jon is stabbed by Ollie, the orphan he had helped raise after his parents had been killed by the wildlings. The scene is also memorable because it ended season 5 on a cliffhanger. Fans all over the world spent the year debating whether Jon was actually dead or not. Imagine a year of R plus L is equal to J and Azor Ahai theory. We all secretly knew that mopey Jon Snow would be resurrected, but we had also hoped that he would kind of stop moping. Number 3. Hold the door. Hodor is a prime example of a tertiary character who breaks a trope with one great moment. Till the moment of his great sacrifice, he had been presented as nothing more than an overgrown servant of Bran and fodder for comedy. The scene incorporates elements of time travel and showed us how Hodor was once a normal boy who lost his mental faculties because of the future Lord of the Seven Kingdoms himself. The three-eyed raven might as well be Dr. Manhattan, as he seems unperturbed by ruining Hodor's life. The sight of the gentle giant being ripped apart while trying to protect his dickish master is one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the history of television. Hodor, you deserve better. Number 4. The Sept of Baelor goes kaboom. The Queen Mother is one of the coldest and most conniving players of the series, and she knows better than anyone how to one-up her enemies, even without dragons. And she gets to demonstrate the extent of her ruthlessness through the destruction of the Sept of Baelor. In an unexpected turn of events, Cersei Lannister removes all of her enemies in one fell swoop by using Mad King's cache of dragon fire. But Game of Thrones won't be the show it is if that were the end of it. The sweet satisfaction of this victory is short-lived for Queen Cersei because her last remaining child commits suicide after witnessing the death of his wife from afar. This scene is especially memorable because of Ramin Djawadi's haunting score, which gives it a poignant quality. This was Game of Thrones at its peak, and it all went downhill from here. Number 5. The Red Wedding. I mean, duh! The Red Wedding is one of the most shocking moments ever not just in the series but also in the history of television. The brutality, the violence, and shock value of this moment hasn't dimmed even after all these years. The scene marked the end of journey for Robb Stark, the hero we had been rooting for after the death of Ned Stark. Never to shy away from horrifying violence, good old George Martin decides that Robb's pregnant wife should also be stabbed multiple times. The Stark family matriarch Catelyn Stark too loses her life. The scene epitomized Game of Thrones more than any other moment. Twists don't get any twistier than this. Is that even a word? Let us know which scene was your absolute favorite from Game of Thrones. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.